What's up?
Hi there.
Tyler, Keith, Plugged On, here to talk about Aquaman. Just came out, finally. First DC movie in a year and a half.
Yeah, your last one was, no, it was only a year. Justice League.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I mean, fair. Fair, but, yeah, Justice League happened. So it's been a year.
Justice League.
Yeah, it really does.
I actually legitimately forgot that movie happened. Holy shit.
I mean, because that's the thing.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, this movie should have come out before Justice League, but,
Right.
That's the smart way to do it.
Right. Yeah, but whatever. It's been well chronicled how much of a trash fire this whole universe that DC's been trying to build is.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't even really give a shit about it. I mean, this movie is an Aquaman movie.
Yeah, it references. I was trying to place, I guess it takes place after Justice League.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like, and so I'm like,
yeah,
okay, that's so weird, but all right, sure. It's sort of like the whole thing, that's sort of like the one main criticism of every Phase 2 Marvel movie, which is why are they fighting this by themselves? The Avengers formed. How come it's only Cap fighting Hydra in Winter Soldier? Which is a fair criticism in this movie. Yeah, I mean it's not that big of a thing because it is an Aquaman story, but it's where's everybody else? Why ain't they helping? And why
they can't swim, dummy.
Yeah, fair enough. You tell me Batman don't got no submarine that he can use or have Batman could do it. But Sad Fleck doesn't want to do it anymore. So.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean Jason Momoa is Aquaman. Amber Heard is in this movie. Is Mara. Nicole Kidman is in it, which I didn't really know.
Yeah, she's his mom or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of weird casting choices that I did not see coming. Willem Dafoe's in this movie, and probably the funniest of all is Dolph Lundgren. Dude,
the first time
funny.
you see him, it's oh my god.
I'm
because it's the first real underwater scene, and it's just oh my god.
It's Dolph
Every
Lundgren.
scene he was in was really, really bad. With him speaking.
Yeah.
His parts, I'm just no.
He's not that great of an actor. He's just got the name appeal from being in a Rocky movie and being that guy from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And he was the Punisher, I guess. But
we might dive into spoilers later, but what do you think?
I think this is a fine movie.
Yeah.
That's about the best thing I can give it. It's better than Justice League. I probably enjoyed myself a lot more, but it's not nowhere near as good as Wonder Woman or anything that Marvel's doing. I think, and I think I can say a lot of this without getting into spoilers. This movie reminds me a lot of Venom, having seen both these movies in the same week, or at least the same kind of thing. They're both movies where they try to do as much as possible in one movie, and it kind of feels a little rushed at times. At
the same time, though, this movie is nearly 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, but they do there is a lot that happens, which and just using certain things, but and I thought that I'm yeah, that kind of makes sense. Except this movie does everything, whereas Venom does everything except for the one big thing you'd want to see in a Venom movie, and you're you got to see the second one.
Yeah,
but I liked it. I think both the two leads, Amber Heard and Jason Momoa, do great with the material that they're presented with. I think that the role was definitely written specifically for Jason Momoa because I'm yeah, that's you, which is fine because I mean that made it seem genuine. It's how he would react and how he would talk, and yeah, I mean the soundtrack was good, nothing too mind blowing or anything like that, but. The one thing that worried me going in was the effects, since a lot of CG, and honestly, it did not look bad. I didn't think for the most part. I thought cinematography-wise, this movie's actually really good. There's a lot of really good-looking shots in this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm the CG, yeah, the underwater scenes look hokey because it's underwater, and they got to do the underwater effects. But I'm all right, but that doesn't look terrible. I'm okay, so I think that was genuinely surprising. But just things like pacing kind of brought the movie down. But and kind of going back to my previous thing, I don't know what you do because they probably won't do one. I don't know what you would do with an Aquaman sequel if they decided to do one. I don't know where you go.
Yeah, apparently I was reading more into it on IGN.com. They had those ending explained things. And apparently, yeah, we'll get into it later, spoilers, but yeah. There is an idea that they could go. I don't know how far it goes for another 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think they could have done, like, because this movie's like 2.5 hours long, isn't it? Something
Close
like
to
that.
it.
They could have done. I honestly think in some ways there's a lot of plot points that you could have made 2 movies with this, and it would have been like do one that's set before Justice League, do one that's set after Justice League, and have it like, because like I said, there's just a lot of themes and a lot of stuff that happens all throughout this movie, and I'm like, you're throwing a lot of stuff at us for the first Aquaman movie.
Yeah, and
it's like you're getting all, because I felt the same thing with Venom. You're getting as much as you can out of the way, just in case you don't get the opportunity to make another movie. And I kind of like that does make it for an interesting experience. And if you like Aquaman, then that's awesome. You all your favorites up at the same time. It's like,
yeah,
you're gonna be scraping the bottom of the barrel to make a sequel.
The first time that hit in was the first like underwater scene that had Jason Momoa, Aquaman's brother, and Dolph Dickface. They were meeting and they're just throwing out all these terms and names in this kingdom and that kingdom and how their cultures work and how you need this to go to war. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, this is like so much all at once.
Yeah.
And to me, because of what Aquaman is, it can only get so good. It's always going to be corny as fuck.
Yeah.
And no matter, in like, even when, it's a serious thing, it's still kind of like, it's fish, like fish people.
Yeah, I think the movie
ants.
embraced it a little bit. They're like,
a little bit, yeah. Like you kind of got to just go all the way with it. Yeah. I mean, I thought the movie was enjoyable, but there was definitely some moments that was like, oh my fucking God. There's 3 separate moments where things happen and they discover something, or they discover what they have to do next, or where they have to go, and then an explosion happens out of nowhere. There's 3 separate moments, and then explosion, all of a sudden things are happening. Second time it happened, I was like, oh, okay. Third time it happened, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, how many times is this going to happen again? It's like, oh, that's where we got to go. Boom! Jesus Christ. The movie really gets going, though, when Aquaman and Mera, they kind of go off on their own to go find the Trident.
Yeah.
I feel like that should have been the whole movie. In a way.
Yeah, like
that was thoroughly enjoyable to watch them solve that the puzzles that they had to solve, the obstacles that were in their way, grow together. Their relationship was really good. That was the core of the movie that I thought was like this pretty cool. So
yeah. I mean, I don't have too much else to say without getting into spoilers. Again, the acting was good. There's some of the fight scenes. There's 2 fight scenes in particular. Like there's mainly 3 big like fight scenes in the movie, and the first 2 that are like between Aquaman and like his brother, I kind of didn't like either of those because they're just like, because of just the nature of it, they're overly CG, and I'm like, that's not cool. But then there's like the middle one that's in like Italy or something, in which there's like 2 different things, and they're doing the thing that I love from the Avengers, where it's like one shot following what's happening between different people. And I'm like, yeah, I'm all about that.
That was really well done.
Like I'm all about that.
Really well
like that one, but like simply because like, I mean, it's in the trailer at one point. He gets in the Aquaman suit, which is obviously all a lot of CG, and it's like, so you're just gonna CG the shit out of this? It's like, come on. I don't know. There would have been a. Which, yeah, that's me being nitpicky.
It's
but I don't
such a
nitpicky.
hard movie. Like, I think they did a good job with that stuff for the most part, because I mean, it's like Atlantis. So much of it is underwater. It's nothing but CG.
Yeah, but
it's such a hard thing to do.
Like the third fight takes place up on like above water, and it's like, oh, what if like for whatever something, it's some. Okay, I'll be a little nitpicky. It's like, okay, no, take off the armor, and then it's the actual people fighting. That would be cool. But like you can, this CG, which it works in the water because you can go all kinds of and do nuts stuff because you're in the fucking water. But like
the thing that I hated, especially it was in the beginning. Aquaman, it's in the trailer, he comes in that submarine, beats the shit out of all those dudes. That part was cool. But then this whole stuff with this dude that I didn't even fucking know who he was. It made sense later in the movie, but it's just him and his father. You don't really know it's his father, really. And it's just yelling and screaming. So much yelling and screaming at that part. And a lot of yelling and screaming in this movie.
There's a lot of...
For no reason.
There's a lot of just...
But in the beginning, and then he like, slow-mo runs towards the camera through this water. And, you know, because shit's about to blow. I'm like, oh my Jesus. I hope the rest of this movie gets better because this is not good.
I think they did good stuff with him.
Yeah, that plot point comes around, I think, in a good way.
Yeah.
But man, initially not knowing who these people were, I was like, Jesus, this is a lot to take in right now.
Yeah.
Because it's so much yelling. Why are you yelling so much?
There's a lot of yelling, and okay, I want to know. I want to remember what the dude's name is. Patrick Wilson, whom is his brother, also plays the president in Batman v Superman. Yeah. So they don't care about this universe anymore. That's really funny.
Yeah, he does a lot of yelling.
He does like 3 separate times, and it's like he doesn't have a yelly voice.
No,
it's just it sounds bad, and I'm like, come on, man.
And I will say the final battle was pretty intense from a CG standpoint. Like, it looked pretty fucking cool.
I'm like,
there was some incredibly sick, like breathtaking shots in this movie, where they clearly put a lot of money and time into it. I mean, it's good. It's good, but not great. I think it's enjoyable to watch, but it's also a bad movie at the same time.
Yeah, but it's a good kind of bad. It's enjoyable.
Like, to me, it's like, I think Man of Steel is bad, and I never want to watch it again. Whereas Aquaman is bad, but I would maybe watch it again because it's got some fun moments to it. You know.
That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a whole lot of spoilers. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward thing. I think it's got a fine ending to it and everything. It's kind of... They wrap it up as if they might not ever get to make another Aquaman movie, but they leave just enough.
They leave just enough. I was hoping... I mean, granted, like you were saying, the guy who ends up like on the ship with all the yelling, he becomes Black Manta, and I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And they did. I thought what they did was really good with him. What they did with him was really good. But then like, he's like a side villain in this movie. Now maybe, granted, with the post credit scene, he might be a big villain in the next one. But I was just like, man, this is actually somewhat interesting to watch. And it's like, no, because you know, Aquaman just lets his dad die, and it's like, yeah, he's not. Yeah, okay. This is interesting, and then he's just kind of side plot. I'm like, come on.
And I like I enjoyed the beginning with Nicole Kidman in explaining Aquaman, that he's half Atlantean, half normal human. I guess. I thought that and everything involving his mother, I thought was very well done, and I like I think it was Wonder Woman did a lot of like flashback scenes of her training and stuff like that.
They did that.
You can tell they tried to do a little bit of a formula because they're like, well, Wonder Woman really worked well.
Yeah.
Let's have some flashback moments. They were well done for the most part.
Yeah, I liked a lot of that stuff.
It's just so weird.
Those also just some weird moments, moments that I'm like, this would be cool if we got to spend time with it. Like when they go to like, what is it, the Hidden Sea in the center of the earth and there's dinosaurs. Yeah. I'm like, this is actually super interesting, but you're there for like 10 minutes. Yeah. It's like, all right. Like on one hand, I'm like, that's cool, and it's cool that you did that, but was it worth it for 10 minutes of screen time? You could have saved a lot of money not animating them pterodactyls flying through the sky. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Just it's
stuff
like
with the trench though, that was sweet.
Stuff with the trench was cool.
That was really well done.
That was one of the things where it just seems like there's so many like little things that happen. It's like, okay, we got to go to the desert, and they're there for 10 minutes. And we got to go to Italy, and then they're for 10 minutes. And then they go there, and then and I'm like,
it's a lot.
You could again stretch it out, make it its own movie.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have him like, just do. I think they could have done like again the first half and like all the flashback stuff could have been like one movie. And then the second movie, but
it's almost like him getting the trident and then the whole Black Manta stuff could have been its own thing.
Yeah,
and him getting the throne back could have been it's a whole nother movie.
Or like kind of like in the beginning, there's like the whole thing where he's like, oh yeah, I want to go to Atlantis, make like the first movies like that, but then he's like, yeah, y'all suck, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And then the second movie is him becoming king and like stuff like that, and have Black Manta be a big part of the first movie, and then he shows up, and it's just a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2.5 hours, so there has to be a lot, but it's like. It's a lot at breakneck speed. A lot of exposition. Hey, it was just like you said. I'm just like, whoa! Like the whole first. I mean, granted, I like that part too with in the beginning with his mom explaining stuff. But I'm just like, whoa! There's a lot of exposition here. It's like,
right.
But
yeah, Aquaman. What would you give it?
I'd give it a 7. 7 out of 10.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 is a good, fine score for this movie. I mean, go watch it if you want to have a dumb 2.5 hour movie thrown in your face. Lots of pretty stuff.
Watch
overacting.
Jason Momoa play himself.
Yeah,
which is great.
He's perfect for our. Well,
I don't think
I
because
say perfect.
Aquaman's a boring character.
Yeah.
He made Aquaman
adds
interesting because it's like
right.
Yeah,
exactly. Man, he has some badass fighting moments.
Yeah,
like, yeah. Anyways, go check it out, Aquaman. Let us know what you think. See ya.